This is my deranged take, but I don't think like really good art can be made by somebody who doesn't suffer. I feel like people who suffer immensely or have suffered immensely make better art than people who have lived very cushioned lives. Normal take, very true. You ain't wrong. Okay, I'm glad you guys agree. That's a trash take. Oh, there's like suffering, like, oh man, I'm so anxious, it's hard to make a phone call. There's like that kind of like quote unquote suffering, and then there's like, oh man, my parents beat me when I was a kid, or whatever the fuck. And it's like, well, one of these gives a deeper, innate understanding of suffering than the other. You know? One of these broadens an artist's toolkit immensely, in my opinion. Suffering is subjective. One can suffer more from a spilled drink than the other from leg torn off. I agree with that to an extent. But this comparison doesn't work, where the person who spilled their drink is not going to suffer long-lasting trauma. Yeah, it's not that subjective. The other person who's missing a leg is now permanently missing a leg. Even if they didn't feel any pain in the moment, they're going to live with that for the rest of their lives. The person who spilled a drink can get another drink. It depends on how you represent your suffering. Everything can be a tragedy if you are creative enough. I disagree. I think true suffering is its own thing. I think true suffering is a sort of enlightenment upon the soul. Not to get like religious about it, but like to truly suffer is something that cannot be understood by somebody who has not truly suffered. A person whose concept of suffering is, I spilt my drink, this is horrible, I have trauma, their concept of suffering is not the same as somebody who has truly, thoroughly experienced pain. And I think that experience of pain that allows some artists to create more depth in their art, because they know, they understand something that perhaps the average person has not. I think somebody who has experienced a sense of truly profound joy is also going to create better art than somebody whose biggest joy in life is they got a really tasty drink at Starbucks. But Pippa, you can't objectively compare and quantify profound joy. Okay, well, I'm going to anyways, because I think like people who have had children, to me, they just look objectively happier in general than somebody who's like, I'm so happy they released a Pokemon that I really like. Compare somebody and their favorite Pokemon to somebody who deeply loves their family or their kids or whatever the hell. I'm sorry. Pippa, you can't quantify it. Whatever, dude. I'm not changing my mind on this one. I think it goes both ways for joy and for suffering.
Cookie! Cookie! It's a piglet? Oh my god! It's Pippa!